Bennett with a smooth rotation. Look at that plate stack. Matsumoto right behind her. But in lane 6,
Daisy Hill of Great Britain is making a charge.
she's hammering that skillet, really pouring on the suds. That pace is blistering. Wing slipping though, hold on! Oh, we've got a flag on the play! Lane...
What's up, guys? Benny. Are you living in the simulation? It sure as hell feels like it, because how else could people be this dumb? Ketanji Brown Jackson was nominated for the Supreme Court in the year 2022, the high watermark of wokeism and Democrat control of culture. She was asked what a woman is.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a
the
biologist.
meaning of the word.
I'm not a biologist. Now, listen, I like Marsha Blackburn. She's the one asking this question. You missed a generational opportunity here, however, because Ketanji Brown Jackson was constantly banging the tables saying, I'm the first black woman on the Supreme Court. That's what Biden said. That's what Kamala says. That's what Ketanji Brown Jackson said. Joe Biden said, I'm going to put a black woman on the Supreme Court. This is what Joe Biden said. This is the whole point of Ketanji Brown Jackson, is that she is a woman and also black. But she can't define what a woman is. So that seems a little strange. How do we know that you're a woman, Ketanji Brown Jackson? You keep being sold to us as a black woman. Like, how does that happen? That's the marketing here, that you are a black woman. So, how do we even know that if you don't know what a woman is? So confusing, so strange, so fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. What is exactly this engagement? Well, it is just simply the denial of biology. There was a moment where the world went mad, and the evil forces in charge decided that they were going to beat, literally, women and allow men to pummel women and abuse them for sport. And that would knock them down a peg because of feminism or something like that. Well, that is now over. Thank God. The fever has broken, and here we stand. Olympics set to ban all men in women's events after finding scientific evidence of advantages between males and females. Oh my. Turns out there are advantages to being born a male. Let's read. So shocking. Elon Musk saying this. Mind-blowing discovery. Olympics are going to ban all transgender athletes in 2028, but row ravages over whether those with Imain Keefe's reported condition will be able to compete. Okay. We're going to talk about this in just a second, but let's continue. Okay. A ban on transgender women, men, competitors is strongly expected to be in place for the 2028 Olympics, but remains unclear. I mean, and this is in Los Angeles, so that's banning like half the population of Los Angeles from competing. But it remains unclear whether the barriers against athletes with different sexual developments after the boxing foyer in Paris in 2024. We're going to talk about that in just a moment, because like what they're going to say is like these are they're going to take these like extreme edge cases, which do exist, and they're going to say, no, we should make a rule for all people. Doesn't have to be that way. And it never is that way, actually, in fact. Under the existing rules, each sport is empowered to decide if transgender women can compete if their testosterone levels fall below a designated threshold, thus implicitly showing us that there's a difference between men and women. But the International Olympic Committee, under a new president, is in discussions about a dramatic policy shift that imposes a blanket ban across all sports for the Los Angeles game, thank God. Such a move would prevent the kind of scenario where we saw Laurel Hubbard weightlifting at the Tokyo Olympics. Hubbard transition in 2012. While Olympic sources have confirmed such measures, it very much the direction of travel is highly unlikely to come into force before the Winter Olympics in Italy this February. One report suggested that a rule change could be announced in February, but insiders estimate that it would take between 6 months and a year to be approved and cleared. Just to say that biological XY, I mean, they're going on testosterone levels, which is an insane way to do this, because there are a ton of men that have female level testosterone levels. And they're like Harry Sisson and below, it's like the Harry Sisson meter. All of the lib TikTok influencers, all of them have testosterone. Male TikTok influencers have testosterone levels below women. The way to do this is your chromosomes, XX or XY. That's how you do it. There's no other way to do it. And then that's baked into your bones. It's a 10-second, 10-cent test, and it says whether you have the chromosomes of a male or a female. And that's how you actually do it. Testosterone levels are wild in their ranges and can spike or can collapse given a lot of different scenarios in men and women. And so I think that is a stupid measure for this. You just have to go chromosomal level. And that's the way science looks at it. The move will be seen as a box ticked by the new Olympics head who campaigned to protect the female category on her way to winning the president's election this year. Here she is. It would also avoid any awkward flashpoints with Donald Trump in the build-up to the Olympics. Okay. This is great. What they're going to talk about then is a debate that led to fury in Paris last year when Algeria's Imaine Khalif and Lin Yu-ting of Taiwan won boxing gold medals after being disqualified from the World Championships for failing gender eligibility tests. The IOC Executive Committee faced huge criticism for permitting them to fight. And they argue that they're like they have some type of like intersex like weird thing going on down there. I don't claim to like be the expert on that. I'm not trying to look, you know what I mean? But here's what I can say on that. There's Paralympics, Special Olympics, other categories of Olympics. If you're so concerned about the extreme, you're talking about less than 0.0000001% of the population that has some type of intersex situation, then create a special category. Go for it. There are special categories all across the greater overall Olympic diaspora for many people competing who, well, I don't know, we're born different, or we're born with some type of, what do you want to call it? Like in the Special Olympics, they have like wheelchair basketball. Like what do you want to call that? That's a league. It's a sport. It's called Murder Ball. It's brutal. It's fun to watch, actually. Great documentary on it. But they've created that category for people who are in wheelchairs who to force them to play against the NBA players that play in the Olympics would, of course, be totally unfair. Obviously, they're in wheelchairs. So what do you like? Call it whatever you want. Would I be in favor of that? I don't know. I have to see the policy. But if it gets men out of women's sports, then yes, I'd be in favor of that. If you want to really literally have your own little carve out, then have the transgender Olympics. Why don't I just do that? Why don't I just have the transgender Olympics? Just do that. I'm morbidly curious how that would play out. Why not just propose that? I guess you learn something new every day, says Elon Musk. Yeah, science. That's right. Incredible things are happening in the science today, as people are proving. Who knew? Thank God for scientists. There are advantages to being men. The most retarded headline I've read in a while, and that really says something. Who could have seen this coming? We got Albert Einstein back before GTA 6. We have been trying to tell them. For years, the right has been saying that trans women are just men with gender dysphoria and the biological differences between them. Biological women, the left denied it for years. Now watch them deny ever advocating for this, and they will gaslight us again now that it's a losing issue. Groundbreaking. The new science. Trust the science. Male, female, boy, girl. Not that science. Male athletes getting a sex change operation to compete in the female Olympics. I've made a huge mistake. I feel like we could have gotten here without the scientific evidence, but okay. So glad they stumbled upon this breakthrough, this scientific breakthrough. Lunacy that something like this even had to be stated. The Olympics have found a new scientific evidence men and women are not the same. Incredible discovery. This is what they're talking about here. Male athletes are now banned from competing in the Olympics. Cool. And Riley Gaines saying now strip the medals. Strip the medals. All right. Chalk one up for a culture war win. Win for the fight. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.